Hi, how's it going? Welcome to this COP26 Fringe event. This is Explore Glasgow, Travel Sustainably. My name is Sam. I'm this year's Vice President of Student Activities here at the SRC. And in this cheeky little presentation, I'm just going to be going through how you, as a student or whoever's watching this, can travel sustainably around Glasgow. Of course, right now, COP26 is going on, and there was a focus on moving away from means of travel that emit a lot of carbon, that are polluting to the climate. And of course, in this 2021 world, we want to be moving towards 100% electric. We want to be moving to hybrids. We want to be moving to better ways of traveling. And I guess in this presentation, I'm just going to give you a rundown of how you can use certain types of transport and the best way of going around is using it. So there you go. Welcome to Glasgow. If you are new to Glasgow, hope this presentation actually is something useful for you. Or even if you've just, if you've been in Glasgow for a year, 2 years, or however long, of course, things have been disrupted with the big cocoa. So that meant, we weren't able to explore, go out as much as we could have during that time. So in this presentation, I'm going to be going through 5 different means of traveling sustainably. So of course, we've got the subway, we've got the bus, we've got the train, we've got walking, and we've also got the bike. So why do we need to travel sustainably? The World Health Organization report from 2017 found that Glasgow is one of the most polluted cities in the UK. That is in a report with around 40 or so towns and cities. Glasgow, the biggest city in Scotland, one of the most polluted ones. And, of course, with that, we need to find a way basically to reduce the carbon footprint in the city, to make the city be a bit more green, But it is called Glasgow for a reason, Dear Green Place, all the parks and all the green spaces we have. But even with that, it's still a very polluting city. Glasgow's Hope Street in the city centre. So that's the one that goes, down from Central Station up to the top where the Cineworld is. That is Scotland's most polluted road and has been shown to be multiple times. Apparently, the pollution on Hope Street has been going down over the last couple of years, but still, it's not a good thing, I guess, because Hope Street is basically at the heart of the city. A lot of pedestrians, a lot of people cross Hope Street, walk down Hope Street. A lot of us, probably yourselves watching this might have been down Hope Street even over the last few days. So it's a scary sign, It's a sign that some action needs to be done. Maybe our part, or maybe through the actions of big corporations or whatnot. Like as I say, I guess everyone has to do their part, and traveling sustainably can be one of them. As the climate crisis deepens, we need to move away from these carbon-emitting transportation methods, the car, and reduce our carbon footprint. That may be in different ways, through diet, transportation, which is what I'm going to be talking about today, maybe through, daily actions, maybe even turning off the heat once in a while, insulation through windows and things like that. So, I think if we go on to the next slide, how do you go about doing so? Well, I've kind of touched on it on the slide before. I will, of course, touch on it in this presentation. We'll see how easy it is to travel sustainably without any fear. Without fear. There is I feel like, or from what I've seen over my 4 and a bit years here in Glasgow, there is a common consensus that traveling by public transport can be sometimes daunting. There might not be a lot of information that is readily out there for, new users to use and to actually get on public transport. We have a lot of people who move to uni who are from places which does not have as much public transport as this city. well, as you can hear, I'm from London, so anywhere compared to London is much less. So you see, for people like myself from the big cities, I'm used to going on public transport or whatnot. But then there might be some of you watching this, or some people that who you like you live with or mates with that are like, the bus? No, thank you. No, thank you. So I'll try my hardest to basically do a whistle stop tour of the different modes. Basically, just try to give you all the information that you basically need to get on there, and then if you actually use these steps and use this information from this presentation, then I'll be very happy, and then we can actually see that traveling by public transport isn't that bad. So yeah, as I've said in the presentation, these tips can be used universally across the UK, across Britain, because once you've got the hang of anywhere outside of London, you're basically grand for the rest of the country. It was a bit of a culture shock for me coming from London to out here, but I've got used to it. I've got there. So yeah. And also, this presentation will also come with a companion PDF, which will be released in due course. There is not a date confirmed for that at the moment, but that will be coming out with this presentation sometime after. So I guess the first mode of transport, probably the most popular mode of transport, is the subway. The Glasgow subway, opened in 1896, it's the third oldest subway system in the UK. In terms of students around the University of Glasgow, around the West End, it's probably the most frequented mode of travel used by students here. It's probably the easiest to use in terms of, where you want to go. If you want to go into the city centre, if you want to go to Partick or the South Side, it is probably the easiest method that most students use. 100% electric powered trains, new trains are coming in 2022. Don't quote me on that, because SPT those trains should have been out last year, but of course COVID and delays and whatnot. But hopefully new trains will be coming out soon. The whole system was refurbished starting about 5-6 years ago, I think. They're still finishing it now with the new trains and then with the updated platforms and stuff like that. So in the next few years, the subway is actually going to be absolutely beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. The subway has 15 stops. I think it's not that hard to use. Basically, you've got the inner and you've got the outer. I'll touch more on that in the next slide. But if you wanted to know more about prices, so we've got the subway card here, and we've also got the regular ticket. So it's cheaper. It's obviously cheaper to travel with a subway card. A single on a subway card is £1.55, and then an all-day ticket is £3. So basically, you're paying £1.55 for your first trip, and then £1.45 for your second trip. And that's even if you do two. So you do the 2 trips. And then if you do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, how many you want during the same day, it all adds up to £3. It caps at £3. And there's also different prices. So the 80 pence and the £1.50, so that's for children. And then also the £1 and the £1.50 are for concessions. So that's with the certain card that you used to get on the bus. So that'll be like for the older folk, basically. So there's also the regular subway ticket. See, a single, same price, £1.55. And I think that's actually gone down over the last few months. It must have been £1.75 or £1.65 or something like that, but that's gone down to £1.55. As you can see, a return is more expensive than an all day on the smart card, and an all day on the regular ticket is £4.20, which is of course more than £3 on the smart card. And then of course next to that is the child tickets, if I'm not mistaken. So as you can see, getting a smart card, it saves you money. It saves you money basically. All you have to do, you can go online onto the subway website, you can register for one, it's free, and then it gets sent out to you. And then, you can put your picture on that so it's personalized, or you can go into any of the stations and pay £3 for one. It won't be personalized, but, you basically start saving money from the get-go. I recommend that. I've had my subway card and it's been used so many times. It's probably in my wallet here somewhere, but it's been used so many times over the last 4 years. I've probably saved hundreds of pounds using it rather than using the actual ticket. So, of course, once you've bought your ticket, easy. So you see just the picture here. Let me see, actually circle it. Let me circle it. Boom. Oh, that is not circling. Can you say, oh, that's the laser pointer? Nice. So yeah, with the laser pointer right here, that's the ticket machine. You go onto that and then you just, you press and you ticket. You can put your smart card and top that up in there. They take cash, contactless payment, no Amex though, unfortunately. And just, regular card insert. And it's very easy to do. And you can also top up online. So if you're basically prepared, you can easily just go online, top up, and then you get to the station, boom, you're straight through. So of course you got the barriers here. So it's not Hillhead Station. No, it's not Hillhead Station. See, give me a second. Is that Hillhead? No, that's not. That's a station on the network. And of course, you've got your ticket, you've got a subway ticket. You just place it on the little, there, now it's actually drawing. Okay. You just place it there onto that orange reader, and then it goes beep, and it opens the doors, closes, and then when you come out, when you finish, you do the same thing, hold it onto there, and then boom, you go through. The one thing you find is that the subway cards, the smart cards always take longer. I don't know why. The tickets always just boop and you're through. The subway cards are always just, and then bang, and then you're through. So you see, it has actually drawn a little circle there. So once you bought your ticket, how are you getting around? So as I've said before, the subway has two lines. So it's got the inner line and the outer line, inner circle, outer circle. How I like to think of it is the inner circle goes into uni from the city centre. So, look at that drawing there, yes. And then the outer circle goes out from uni into the city centre. That's literally how I like to think of it. If you are either commuting into uni, or if you just live in the West End, you're just getting around into the city centre, there are the certain you'll probably be using all of the stations north of the Clyde, but the main ones are Buchanan Street, which is for, Queen Street Station, Buchanan Street, Buchanan Bus Station, St. Enoch, which is for Central Station, and also if you want to go Argyle Street or whatnot. Then you've got Kelvin Bridge, pretty explanatory, just that bit east of the uni. Hillhead, main stop for uni, Byers Road, Botanic Gardens. And then also, you've got Partick, for your Lidl, the Morrisons, and just, other places in the West End. Of course, you've got Kelvin Hall, St. George's Cross, and Cowcaddens. Those are just intermediate stations used by students as well, but probably not as well, nowhere near as much as Hillhead and Buchanan Street stations. And I can't forget about the south side, of course, Govan, Ibrox, Cessnock, Kinning Park, Shields Road, West Street, Bridge Street. If you go there, that's nice. It's they're stations. They're there if you need them, I guess. And then, I think out of the ones down there, basically, I think Govan would be used the most. Govan's just down the road from the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital. Ibrox got Rangers, Cessnock, you got Holmes, Kinning Park, Shields Road, basically all of them have their uses. So it's, but normally when you think about the inner and the outer, it's literally just how you think about where you are at the city centre and the West End, and then how and where you're going, basically. yeah. If we go on to the next slide. Now, when it comes to using the subway, accessibility on the subway is a bit of a sticky one. Of course, the subway is the third oldest in the world. It's been renovated twice. Oh, bear with, I'm getting a call. Ooh. Thank you for bearing with me. English, I'm trying to speak English right now. Thank you for bearing with me in that interruption. So, using the subway, accessibility, as I was saying, it is a bit of a sticky one. Third oldest subway in the world, been renovated back in the 70s, and then also now, I guess. The stations have not really been made to host, wheelchairs and to host certain mobility, different types of mobility, which is a shame. As you can see in the picture right here, these platforms are very, very, very thin, very thin. And in most cases in the stations as well, they're not actually all flat. They might be, slanting like this, or they might be, a bit curvy. If you look at this map here, so we've got the stations that are actually fully accessible. So we've got St. Enoch, which has lifts from street level down to the mezzanine, and then also down to the platforms. We have Kelvin as well, which is basically the same, straight down to the platforms. But then we have Partick here with a question mark, because essentially at the moment, it's not 100% accessible. There's lifts straight from the platforms to street level. No, not lifts. There's escalators to street level from the platforms, but there were plans to put in also a lift. So basically there's space for a lift at Partick Station, but these have not been installed yet. And I don't know when they are ever going to be installed. But in a nutshell, the subway is not the most accessible system out there. Hopefully with the new trains, there will be, some accessible spaces on the trains, but at the moment, these would basically only work with St. Enoch and Kelvin Station, which is a shame. But then we've also got accessibility. Accessibility. Hi. We've also got park and ride. Of course, there's the whole push to, limiting car usage, but everyone understands that certain groups of people might have to use their cars to get into the city. There might be some people coming out from certain destinations which have no public transport, and, the subway is the most convenient. So on this map here, we have basically a ticking of the different park and ride spaces on the subway. Got Kelvin Bridge, which has a space. Have Bridge Street, West Street, and Shields Road on the south side of Glasgow as well. And then what you can do is, you rock up with your car, you park it, and then you also pay for a park and ride and subway day ticket, basically. And then that gives you access to, park your car, go on the subway all day. And yes, it's good affordability. The subway is quite a simple service to use. It's not the hardest to grasp, basically. So compared to the other ones that are coming up, this is probably the easiest, and it's going to be the most used, I guess. Now, number 2, using the bus. There are a number of big bus companies. So, we've got them at the top. We've got First Bus, we've got McGill's, and we've got Stagecoach. There's a few smaller companies that you probably see around Glasgow. Glasgow City Bus, which is run by West Coast Motors. Got Avondale if you live in Partick or, Drumchapel, Clydebank. We've also got White Laws as well if you're living down more Hamilton, down that side. just outside of Glasgow. I'd say in terms of student usage, the bus is less used than the subway, but can be useful for certain destinations. For example, Bray Heads, IKEA, the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital, getting to the south side like Queen's Park and places like that from the West End, even getting to a number of other hospitals. The bus is probably the easiest in these cases to get to these places. It's a shame that a lot of students probably are reluctant to use the bus. It isn't the most affordable. That's the one thing. I'll get on to fares in a second, but I'll move on to a bit more positives compared to the subway. All buses run by Glasgow's main operators are wheelchair accessible. So your first bus, your city buses, your McGills, your stagecoaches. I couldn't say every bus because, there are probably some smaller bus companies out there that probably aren't wheelchair accessible. So I wasn't just going to, just have a whole blanket just to say every single bus is accessible. Just going to have to contact the operator if you have any doubts. So the buses run, from 6 a.m. to around midnight. So this would be like Monday to Fridays. Of course, they vary on the weekends with buses starting later and then finishing earlier on the Sunday. There was normally, back before Coco, there were night buses. So, on the Friday night and the Saturday night, there were night buses, £3, contactless payment or cash, whatnot, get on the bus. And then basically it's all radial. So you'd have night buses following the routes of the daytime buses. So you'd have the 6 going up to Clydebank and East Kilbride, the 2 going out to Clydebank as well, and then Baderston to the east. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of my knowledge right there. So yeah, that was always useful for a night out. They haven't been restarted as of November 2021. Of course, there's a driver shortage at the moment, even though there's also a taxi shortage. So that has also led to cancellations of daytime buses by First, which is a shame. But hopefully, soon we see the return of the night buses and a revival of the nighttime economy. So moving on to fares, in the simplest ways, in terms of, say, a one trip on a bus. First, less than 5 stops, £1.70, more than 5 stops, £2.50. When First say, fares from £1.70, it's literally 5 stops. I only found this out probably like 6 months into uni. They hide it very, very, very sneakily on the website. And I don't even think they even have it on the website anymore. But just to say, less than 5 stops, if you're going and you checked it, £1.70, 5 stops, £2.50. More than 5 stops, £2.50. So this is as of November 2021, of course. In terms of McGill's, prices vary. So it's not just the 2 different fares. There's a whole range of fares depending on how far you go. They're similar to First Bus in terms of when you compare distances. So if you're looking at the 17, well, it's been cancelled for part of it anyway. But that's not a good example. Say the 77 from the city centre from Buchanan bus station to Bray Head. If you compare that to the X7 or the 901 from McGill's, that goes to Bray Head as well, but it goes past the motorway. Similar prices. You just have to check when you get on board. It's one of those. And Glasgow City Bus, the maximum fare that I've actually paid, which was from like Clydebank, faithfully, to St George's Cross, £2.20, I think. Don't quote me on that. But it's cheaper than First Bus in most cases. So anytime you see, a good example is I'm just bringing out numbers, aren't I, right now? But an example is, say, if you're going to, say, Maryhill Tesco into town, using the city bus, so the number 17, compared to a First Bus, you'll pay less on the city bus. It's just one of those things. You just have to make sure you're on the right bus, if you want to save them money. You've got to be tactical, isn't it? And yeah, all main operators take contactless payment and cash. For first, it's exact change only. But most people just use their card. All of the companies that are listed here, the major ones have their M tickets, so you can download the app, which I'll show on the next few slides. Download the app. You can get a day ticket there, monthly tickets. You can get carnets of, like 5-day tickets or 10 singles. All that's on the app. So, First Bus app, McGill's Buses app, Glasgow City Bus app. Each of them have their separate tickets where you can actually just check how much something costs. And of course, there's more ticketing out there. There's zone cards, there's the Glasgow Tripper. There's all other stuff, but that can, you can have a look at that yourselves if you wanted to look at that. Going on to next one. I've still got the pen here. Nice. On to the next slide. Just this slide is just a quick rundown of like the bus that you'll probably use in terms of getting around. If you're going down Great Western Road, you've got the first 6 and the 6A. So that'll probably look like this. Look at that lovely square. If you're going down University Avenue, you'll probably be using the 4A. So, the lovely cheeky 4 down at Four Corners. Or the City Bus 15, which runs Monday to Saturday, which is cheaper than the first bus. So if you see the 15 and you're trying to get the bus, use that. That's if you're not using the subway, to be fair. Dumbarton Road, you've got the first 2, the 3, the 77. Going back to Dumbarton Road and the first 2, 3, and 77. Yeah, McGill's number 17 normally goes from City Centre to Paisley, through Partick, through Kelvin Grove, through the hospital. But due to shortages and COVID, that's been cut back to the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital. So, Dumbarton Road, if you're looking for Dumbarton Road, Sauchiehall Street, on that bit through Finniston, the 2, 3, and the 77 are the way to go. If you're trying to get out of Glasgow, go somewhere nice and sunny or just anywhere else. Glasgow's nice, of course. Your best bets are the first number 77 and the 500. The 77, it goes a slow route, so that stops everywhere. That takes about 50 minutes to get from the airport to the city centre, and it's every half an hour between the airport and the city centre. That costs like £5 something. But then you have then you have the 500, which is the express, which goes from Buchanan bus station as well. But that goes via the motorway. That's about £8 for a single. Check online for updated ticketing prices. But yeah, the first number 77 and the 500. But if you live in Paisley, the 757 by McGill's is also there. If you live in St Andrews and you're trying to get to the airport, the X24, just, of course, again, shouting out numbers to you, but basically the main ones are here on this slide. And also lastly, Bray Head. So Bray Head Shopping Centre, the biggest one in Scotland, definitely. You got the first 9A, and again, you got the 77. I think the 77 is the fastest there. The 9A takes a bit longer. But then if you want to go quick, you've got the McGill's 901, 906, and the X7. Those go via the motorway, express things, express. So there, take a screenshot of that. And those are basically the main bus routes that you'll probably be using to get to certain places around the West End and around Glasgow. Now, I'm going to give you a lovely, this guy's done it straight away. What's happened? Lovely. I've done a lovely diagram / guide to how to pay for the bus. Because paying for the bus is probably the one thing that people have the fear of. It's easy just waiting for the bus, sticking your hand out and getting on. Of course, in London, you literally just press your Oyster card and you walk away. That's if you've got money on it. But here, well, basically anywhere outside of London, it's a bit more daunting. So there's two different types, basically. So, you got the ones with the First Bus, McGill's, City Bus, Avondale, Whitelaws, and most other companies. So you've got this, let me bring out the pen again, got this lovely ticketing machine. So now you walk on the bus. Okay, say you're going, I don't know, say you're going from, where's a good place? Botanic Gardens. Say you're going from the Botanic Gardens to Partick on the bus. Yeah, you're like, walk on, you get on the bus. If you know how much it costs, then you'll be like, oh, can I get a 250, please? Or a single to Partick, please. Bossman does some CP tappy on this little screen here. And then, and then something will flash up here on this screen here. That'll show your price, but wait, if you're paying by card, wait. Say you're doing it by card, and then what it'll do, it will tap something else on here, and then it will say card payment, and then we move on to this next bit here. So you basically place your card on there, hold it there, and then wait until it goes beep, 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 and then a ticket comes out, basically. Because some people are too quick to put their card on there. You have to be patient. Most of the times, the driver, if he sees that you don't know what you're doing, he'll just like cover the scanny part. But if you've got a different card, if you've got one of the concession passes, or if you've got a Glasgow tripper, normally you can just tap it on there straight and it works straight away. If you've got an M ticket, so if you've got a day ticket or monthly ticket, all you do is you so beautiful. Look at this beautiful graphic. Basically, put the barcode under the scanner, and then it should do beep, beep, beep again, and then you're good to go. If you're paying by cash, go back to this step number 1, and then the price will come up, and then it's either you give the cash to the driver or you put in one of those little box thingies that takes your money. Remember, First Bus is exact change only. As far as I know, McGill's is fine. City Bus is fine. I don't know about Avondale. Probably fine. Whitelaws, I'm not sure about as well. But it's best, especially now, to either do a card or to do an M ticket, just to minimize contact with cash. But then you have Stagecoach. So that will be your X19 to the hospital or Easter House, or the buses that go out to like Cumbernauld, Kilmarnock, Ayr, places like that. Have a different machine. And I think this one's easier to use, to be fair. So this diagram, so basically this is the driver's viewpoint. So driver's here, you're coming from here. If you're using the same, if you're using, it's basically the same, can I get a single to wherever, or can I get a day ticket, whatnot. Comes up on the screen, on the little screen here, which is this. And then this, you can literally just put your debit card straight on, and then most of the time it just does it straight away. And then you get your little ticket that comes out from here. But if you have a day ticket of some sort, if it's a Stagecoach day ticket, most of the time you just show it to the driver, because there is no scanning thing here. So if you've got a concession card, it's the same thing as the bank card. Just tap it on there, and then you're all good to go. And hopefully I've actually just summed that up in like an easier way. If you're trying to get around, and of course I've mentioned M tickets as well, download the app of the respective company. If you're looking for overall how to get somewhere, Citymapper is your best friend. It's not the best in Glasgow. It's better in Edinburgh and London because they actually have live times. But Citymapper, Google Maps, I normally trust Citymapper a bit more. It's more reliable. Download that. Next one is using the train. The train in Glasgow and in Scotland, most services are run by ScotRail. Stations to note for basically students in the West End will be Glasgow Central, Glasgow Queen Street, Partick, Exhibition Centre and Hindland. Maybe Annie's Land or Jordan Hill if you're a bit further out as well. Here's a lovely map that I've got from Reddit of the suburban railway network. You can see the subway is just in orange here in the middle. Just there. Oh, that does not look nice. But to the next slide. Easier, I think the train just in general is easier to use than the bus and the subway. You know, you can get a rail card that saves up to a third on most rail tickets. There's certain things where it's like on certain days you have to spend more than a certain amount to get a rail card discount, but that's all specifics that you can have a look at yourselves. So you've got the 16 to 25 rail card, 26 to 30, two together, and the disabled persons. There's other ones that, you know, that might cater to yourselves. So have a look on the Railcard website and see what is for you. So using the ScotRail can be cheaper than the bus. Well, yeah, always cheaper than the bus in most cases. And using the subway, it's a £1.35 return from Partick to Glasgow Central. You know, when traveling from further, also, you can save money by using split ticketing or buying a Ranger/Rover. These are normally, you know, day or week tickets, or maybe like over 3 days, where you have a certain area where you can basically just use the train as many times as you want within that certain area. There's a whole website saying, well, the different ones, even though SPT have cancelled one of the bigger ones, one of them that literally covered the whole of the Strathclyde region in favour for, I don't know what, but SPT, why? Of course, you can buy your tickets online at the station or on the train. So buying, if, as I've said at the bottom there, if there's no ticket facilities at the station, you buy on board the train. That would normally be on the stations without any, yeah, I've just said that, without any facilities. In the case where there are facilities, normally you are expected to buy at the platform or online. If you're buying an e-ticket, don't forget to collect your ticket. Don't forget to collect your ticket. And also remember that not all ticket machines take card. At the bigger stations, you'll be able to find ones that take cash and card, but at other stations, smaller stations with machines, it'll normally just be card payments only. So that'll be contactless and regular chip and pin. Now, walking. Not much really I can say about walking, you know, using your own 2 feet. Just on this slide here are just some general ideas of how long it takes to walk around the city. So you going from main campus, main building to garage on Sauchiehall Street, it takes about 20 minutes. Main campus to the River Clyde to the SEC and the Hydro is about 25 minutes. Going from Murano to Calcaddens, which is just on the edge of Sauchiehall Street, 25 minutes as well. Or going from main campus to the Riverside Museum or the Science Centre, 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how fast you walk. Glasgow is definitely an easy city to walk around. Of course, coming from London, as I say many a time. Walking to places, it is really long, but Glasgow, it's a big city, but it's not that big where you can't walk anywhere. Basically, you know, you can get to most places in a 30-minute walk, to be fair. City centre to the far part of city centre in 30 minutes, to, you know, further out west, north, south, basically all over the place, easily within 30 minutes. But there's also, you know, place outside the city. There's many paths, many trails you can follow. You can walk along the Clyde, the Kelvin. You know, there's many paths through parks and stuff like that. As part of the U of T Welcome and as part of the events during the COP26 Fringe, we are hosting a few walking, exploring tours, more like just walks and social events around Glasgow. And we'll be doing more, especially over the next semester and going on throughout the year. So here are just some links, see Glasgow, just type in secret walks or best walks near Glasgow, and then you'll be able to find a whole bunch of sites which have walks in the city, outside the city, a whole bunch of them. There's a few that I want to do. There's one, I want to do the Glasgow Bridge walk. So you literally start from, I don't even know which one's the furthest down. One of the bridges, is it Partick, around Partick? And then literally, was it Finiston Bridge? Probably, Finiston Bridge. And then you walk all the way down along the River Clyde to, the east end of Glasgow. Just have a look and see, there's a lot basically going on. So it'll be a good thing to enjoy. And lastly, I think, yes, using a bike. So, this picture is the lovely Kelvin Grove Art Gallery and Museum. We have here in Glasgow Next Bikes called, they're sponsored by OVO. OVO sponsors everything now, don't they? They sponsored the Hydro. Over 1,000 standard bikes in Glasgow. So, just the regular bikes. There's also electric bikes, which are available as well. Basically how it works is, you pay for a certain, you pay as you ride, as you can see here below. See, it's £1 per every 30 minutes. And then every 30 minutes they add on, it's £10. And the maximum charge for the day is £10. And there are basically a whole bunch of places you can go, a whole bunch of docks dotted around the city. So there'll always be somewhere where you can drop off your bike if you're looking to, continue your journey to wherever you're going. There used to be a student discount. I think it was like students get a certain amount of time for free, but I think that was taken away. But be sure to have a look around because it might pop up sometime again. But either way, the bike is very cool to use. There's a lot of cycle paths, especially through Kelvin Grove Park. There's a cycle path that literally goes from the West End into the city centre, across the motorway and everything. Again, you can ride across the Clyde, ride along there, or even just ride out of Glasgow, as long as you can find a dock to put your bike. It's something to check out, something to have a look at. Even though we are going into the dark months of November, December, and January, during the day, on a cheeky winter's day, get on a bike, cycle, it's nice because it's a bit of exercise, getting active, and it's also a nice way to see the city. And it's cheap as well. Now, I guess to end, as I've mentioned already, as part of the UT Welcome, we're going to be running a few day trip events, a few afternoons out. So we've got the Southside Tree Trail, which may have happened by the time you see this. Got the Maryhill Canal Walk. We've also got a trip to Edinburgh Christmas markets. So that's all for this semester. There's more, there will be more coming out for the second semester. Of course, we don't want you to be doing day trips out when you have revision in the December months. So be sure to look out for that. There'll be a lot going on. Feel free to come along if the event is still available to go to. Because, we want to explore Glasgow and see the rest of Scotland using greener modes of transport, move away from the car, move away from the motorbike, move away from, Ubers are becoming electric, aren't they? But move away from private transportation onto more public, more greener methods. Of course, learning to get around Glasgow using public transportation does take some time to get used to. I kind of had a culture shock on my first day up here, so I kind of learned the hard way. Don't move up to Glasgow on a Sunday after 6 p.m. because you're not going to get the subway at all. But once you got it here in Glasgow, you basically saw it for the rest of the country. Because, it's now basically when we can make an impact, decrease our reliance on more polluting means of travel as we respond to the climate crisis. But I guess that's all from me. This is probably longer than I expected, but, I wanted to get into the in-depth of how you can travel in these certain methods. You know, it's always the bus, which is the hardest one to do. The subway and the train and walking, walking is easy, isn't it? Of course, you walk. Yeah, just wanted to get through that, just explain to you how easy it is to use public transport and how you can make the most of it, save some money, and also become a bit more active. So thanks for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much for listening to me ramble and the multiple interruptions. That's a word, right? Interruptions of this presentation. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you at many of our events, our COP26 Fringe events, our UFG Welcome events, and just any SRC events that we see across the semester and across the year. So thanks for watching, and yeah, goodbye.